Alrighty. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to the Selectmen's meeting of March 30th? 31st. Oh my gosh, last day of March. First, we will salute the flag.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We'll start off with the Town Administrator's weekly update.
Last Friday was the deadline for the transfer station job. We got very little response to it. The superintendent has asked that I repost it for a couple of weeks. So, you okay with that?
Yes.
Due to staffing changes, speaking to the superintendent as well at the transfer station, we'd like your permission to temporarily not require demo permits for the transfer station. We'll pick those back up as soon as possible.
Fine with me. Be a little hard to get one right now anyway.
Well, I mean, could be another thing our office picks up, but it's really not a priority.
Yeah,
There's
it's
no
not.
fee anyways.
No.
Okay.
There was no fee attached to that, right?
No,
It
it's
was
just
a permit.
more for assessing,
Yeah.
tracking purposes, and it's a
Yeah.
great idea, but
Yep,
Okay.
it's not priority based on what we have in front of us.
yep.
Thank you. Just a follow-up FYI, because it was said at a meeting last week, we did get Mr. Dolliver's signs ordered that he asked for, so that's all done. Also follow-up from last week, we did have Sheriff Greg Sivany visited the individual that refused to continue to wear a mask at the transfer station. This is a new individual. He told me that the individual seemed receptive. It was not a conversation I had with him today, but asked him to put his concerns in writing to an email, and you guys can see that when it comes through. But he indicated he would just be continuing, and that we would be taking his trash out. I really didn't want to get into it on the phone with him, so I put his concerns in writing. Just an FYI that Town of Freiburg sent you a thank you letter. I think I put it in your packets, just thanking you for letting them buy the thermal camera. We have, today's the deadline for our pending foreclosures. We did have 2 of the 3 pay, which is phenomenal news, because those are the 2 that were actually living in the homes, and they were able to take care of that, so, we'll have a deed for the, I think we deeded 1 back already. I think we need to deed the other one back. That will be next week. You make a note, make sure we check with Michelle on the deeds. The property on West Shore Drive, however, that's been vacant for a number of years now. Town foreclosed in December, and now the right to redemption period is done. So now we need to, it's definitely the towns. So we need to figure out what you want to do with it. As far as a public sale, there are many people interested in that property, so.
Is there a structure on there? Anything we have to go over and look at, or just make sure it's?
We've closed it up and made it
Okay.
safe, because somebody has certainly been in there. The insurance will recommend that you sell it as is, and the lawyers will draw up any, liability clause off of the town.
Okay.
And we've got, and we can send our assessor over there where we haven't had a reval in, over 10 years, just to make sure we're getting a fair price and have them relook at it, but, based on the inside of it and the amount of years it's been vacant, it is in extreme disrepair.
Probably a tear down.
Yeah.
Yep.
So, and I don't know if it's grandfathered buildable. I don't get into the zoning, so we'd have to check with code enforcement on that, but that'll be a big question, so we'll need to know the answer to that. But, is it your intention to get out from under it and sell the property under a tax sale? Okay.
I would, yeah.
I mean,
we're not
I
in
would
the-
think we would. We don't want to,
Yeah, we've only got, one other piece of property? Well, one other I know of, the one down here on the H Road,
Right.
and other than,
Other than land.
Yeah, schoolhouse and things like that, but,
So we'll start working on you saw that Dennis is gonna come back to work part-time,
Yes.
Yes.
Yep,
Right.
so we're gonna have our, a Zoom meeting with him, just to kinda touch base, so, I'll see if I can, because tomorrow's April 1st, and that's the big date assessment-wise, as far as how the properties sit, we're expecting John from O'Donnell's to come down to pick up homesteads, veterans, tree growth, all those types of things, so I'll see if he can stop by and look at the property. It'll take a couple of weeks between taxes and election, probably won't put a bid out until the 1st of May, but it's already covered on our insurance, so
okay,
we'll start working on that. And that's all I have for tonight.
thank you. All right, warrants and bills, I believe we've all taken
All
care of that.
signed,
So
yep.
that's all done, so, need a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the agenda.
I'll second that.
So it's been moved and seconded, all in favor? All right, minutes of the last meeting.
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
I'll second that.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. All in favor? All right, department heads or committee chairs? Do we have anybody that, yep, here comes Will.
Will Langley, District 1. The other day in the windstorm, we had just a tree come down, but we cleaned that up today and some small branches and stuff. And me and Adam have been talking about when we're going to be on posts on the roads, and we've made some calls to some other towns, just trying to get a date, but I'm thinking probably someday next week is when we're going to be looking to pull them. I know we're going to get some more rain tonight, quite a bit. So, and then also, not this coming week, but the following week, we're going to start sweeping and cleaning up, so.
Nice. Thank you.
Thanks.
Can one of you reach out, Will, when they're officially unposted?
Yeah.
Thank you.
Anybody else? Department heads, committee chairs? Okay, doesn't look like we have any old business. Do we have any old business? I don't see anything on here.
It may be able to wait, I didn't.
Okay, all right. All right, we'll move on to new business. A. Okay. All right, so we received this, March 26. I'd like to inform you that I have recently accepted a position in another town. This is to formally notify you that I am ending my employment with the town of Acton, effective April 9th, 2021. Thank you for the opportunity to come to the town of Acton, but unfortunately, I don't feel it was the correct fit.
You can disregard the last sentence.
Yep, thank you. Respectfully, Michael Gilpatrick. Moving on to B.
You need to make a motion to accept
Oh,
it.
do we?
I'll make a
have to-
motion, we accept the resignation of Michael Patrick.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? All opposed? I just want to say thank you for coming in when we needed him, you know, and helping us out, and hopefully, Yes.
And just to clarify, Mr. Gilpatrick did express why he was leaving. You know, he got offered stuff that we couldn't offer him. Company vehicle, 100% retirement,
Higher pay.
higher pay.
yep,
And I believe.
in a town that he'd been working at, so,
And I believe, from what I got out of it, was he had applied for the job when he applied for this job. We gave him this job, and then when the code enforcement officer in Waterboro just retired last week, they contacted him and offered him that, and we didn't even have the opportunity to match it because we're not allowed to exceed what we have. You know, we can't give 100% retirement without giving everybody it, without changes in policies and everything else, and just something we couldn't do, so it was
I would like to
situation.
wish him well in his new position. And I guess moving along, on to the next one, B. This is from the land use secretary. This is her formal resignation from her position as the land use secretary and the E911 addressing officer, and it was effective, will be effective April 9th. So again,
Make a motion, we accept the resignation of the land use secretary.
I'll second that.
moved and seconded, all in favor? All opposed? And again, we wish her well.
Just for a point of clarity, because we've publicly said that both of them were staying until April 9th, neither one of them worked
Yes.
out their 2-week notice, so the department is temporarily closed
They
until
were
we
gone
fill
as
it.
of, gone as of noontime today.
Today.
And that was their choice,
Right.
so.
Yeah, we were hoping to keep them around
For
at
the 2
least
weeks.
to get us through the next 2
Oh.
weeks, but.
I just didn't want somebody to hear the April 9th and then wonder
Yep.
tomorrow why, so.
Right.
just clarity,
Yep.
that was.
Thank you.
Yep,
So we do have somebody in line there. to
yep,
take
and you
over.
have it posted for,
Posted,
Both
Being
positions.
Municipal, it's posted on the
yep.
internet, tags everywhere.
Okay. So, C, Freedom of Information Request.
So I have two. The first one, I think the 25th, that was after last week, so. Did we do this one last week? No. Did we do this one last week? It was last Wednesday's date. No, we didn't, okay. Formally requesting, okay, so please provide me with the contract the town of Acton has with the York County Sheriff's Office to include responsibilities of the Sheriff's Department as far as enforcement of state law and local ordinances. All we have is, we have a contract with the York County Sheriff's Department that talks about the deputy and so forth. The The responsibility piece I will pass off to Sheriff King if he wants to answer those questions, because those stipulations are not in the contract. It's more of a formality and a financial contract.
This is, from Mr. Donahue.
Mr. Donahue, yep.
And the next one is on the 30th. I'm requesting any correspondence any town official has had with anyone, lawyers, selectmen, committee members, etc., other than what has been discussed at recorded selectmen meetings or committee meetings regarding the citizens initiative petition regarding road salt. I did look quickly through my emails, printed a few off. We've sent some to legal. Sent a couple to the Warren and Finance Committee, so we'll print those off and get them ready. Unfortunately, Maine Municipal, because of COVID, they're all still working from home, so most of those legal opinions are verbal, when they call back.
And that was from
Okay.
Mr. Donahue also.
That is also
So those,
Donahue.
okay.
We will do our best to turn those right around.
All right. All right, we're gonna move on to D. Deputy CEO appointment.
So with the, unexpected midday change, I did reach out to Mr. Demers, who is a code enforcement officer in Chapley. He is willing to, fill in outside of his regular job. He will be doing inspections primarily, for permits that have already been issued. You know, he's not looking to pick up 20 or 30 hours here. He's got a full-time job. He's, you know, we're going to do them as needed. So this is an appointment through the end of April, for that position. And I talked to him briefly. I'm gonna come up with a spreadsheet that works well, that I'll send him weekly, or not weekly, daily, maybe hourly, daily, as far as the call logs, and, he will give direction from there.
Okay.
Is that correct?
Did we already appoint him to the planning board?
He has been appointed to the planning board. He, however, has not been sworn in. And after, two things just for the people out there. The land use attorney actually said that he could serve as an alternate planning board member and a deputy and a CEO officer at the same time. There's nothing in the ordinance that says that he can't. If he started actually issuing permits, there might be a clause, something that may not, you know, be in the best interest. So, together we've decided that he will not take his, planning board oath at this time. He's still interested. They have a full board. And, you know, he's gonna hold that position, until this resolves itself, and then he'll pick up as the alternate planning board member.
Good idea.
Okay. Moving on, 2E, warrant.
We have
need a
to-
motion.
Oh, you have, we need a motion. Come on, you guys.
I'm sorry.
So that should be read, and then we make a motion.
Okay.
Here you go.
I'll read. Certificate of Appointment, Title 30A MRSA 2602, Selectman's Office, Municipality of Acton, Maine. 2, Michael Demers, the Selectman of the Municipality of Acton, do, in accordance with the provisions of the laws of the state of Maine, hereby appoint you as Code Enforcement Officer within and for the Municipality of Acton until 4/27/2021, given under our hand 31st day of March 2020.
Make a motion, we appoint Michael Demers as code officer.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor? Okay. David. And thank you for being willing to step up and give us a hand. Okay. All right, so now we can move on to E. Warrant and Finance meeting follow-up.
Yeah, so at the meeting Monday, I took some notes of some things, and a couple of them we said that we'd run by you at your meeting on Wednesday, and then we got a follow-up email from the chair as well, hoping to get some assistance from you guys on some of them. So, the state rate audit reports, we were able to get to them that day. The window sills that one of the members brought up, I did get, we've got a schedule with Portland Glass is coming out on Friday to give us some quotes on that and some specs. Am I correct with the HVAC? Am I doing anything extra with the HVAC comments and the concerns about the federal standards and the fresh air, or was that
Did you
resolved?
I was gonna say, did you look into the federal standards? I mean, is it something
No,
we're
because,
supposed to
mean,
do? I know, I didn't,
responded that,
right.
You know, we trusted our heating guy, I mean, you guys,
Right.
that's why I'm here, to get your direction.
I don't, you know, I don't know what the best direction is. I mean, I don't know if it's something that they do now. I don't know,
I mean, I
so.
think his point was that, wouldn't the heating guy know? I mean, do we need, do you want me
you
to
know,
inquire? That's what I need to know.
I guess.
think probably the thing to do is probably to have our heating guy, Mr. Senecal, contact him and see if there's any issues with the amount of air that's not fresh
Right.
air that we're
Yeah,
gonna
see if there's anything else we need to do with the system.
Right, I mean, if we're gonna be doing it,
Do you
if
want
it's-
him to contact the chair, or do you want me to just repeat the question to the Luke?
No, just
We'll
us.
get the information.
Okay.
Yeah.
okay.
We'll get the
Okay,
information,
gotcha. All right, so I'll reach out and get the answer to that question.
you know,
yes.
Yep.
thank you.
The dam details, did I understand that you copied that contract right there on the spot?
I've
so
got the
nothing
contract,
further?
I've just gotta read it over and photo, and copy it and ship it off. I'll ship it to you and you can send it to where.
Stibler took care of, cancel warrant finance, all right, so Jennifer, can you please get, so specs on the generator, that's something from the fire department, so as I understand, that's the generator you're referring to, right? Okay, so, fire department's working on that. The work to be done at town hall, parking lot, removal of the gym. So this is an email from the chair that he's looking for specs before, you know, additional information before their next meeting, so that they can properly vote on the articles. We put $50,000 in for the parking lot, he's looking for specs on that parking lot work and the removal of the gym.
Yeah, we haven't gotten any prices on removing the gym. The parking lot was kind of the first, well, the concern, but
I mean, is that something we could,
I think initially we had talked about the parking lot and the 50,000 towards that.
Right, and
And
then
then secondary was, well, maybe the gym ought to come down and
right, if we're
make that
gonna
all
do
part
it,
of
do
it.
it all at once.
Remember,
Yeah.
when we putting this money aside, Michelle was supposed to be putting it aside, so it was kinda like a reserve. Wasn't gonna be done this year.
Right,
We're just estimating that we know it's gonna be more than, you know, what we're budgeting for now. That we want our, road commissioner to come up with some numbers and this and that, or we can put it out to bid, one or the other. We've given ourselves that window, that's why we're putting it in a reserve. So, so right now, there is not until we actually wanna start the project, and we don't even know if we
Yeah.
can.
So I can tell them that at this point, we're not prepared to do specs for it, we're just a savings account to
yep.
prepare for in the future. And then the specs for the heating and cooling system, I know we got one of the quotes, so the other one, we're just waiting for that, so, okay.
What was it we had talked about in the?
Oh, I'm sorry.
No, the, capital improvement committee was gonna look at, was that the building? It was something you talked about and that was gonna look into it. I don't remember what it
What
was.
building would that be?
Yeah,
The gym, as far as
no,
the best.
it wasn't the
thing to do
capital.
it. No, okay, never mind. Disregard.
The other thing that we agreed to bring forward at the meeting was the, Mr. Gore had the concerns about the reserve account and that, we had gotten a legal opinion. And although Maine Municipal rewrote the article and it was adopted by town meeting, there was still a little piece of it that he,
One word.
one word, and what was that word?
Pacific too.
Specific?
Pacific.
I think it was Pacific.
I believe it was Pacific. I think he's
I'm
right.
not emailing MMA to ask them for a definition of specific, am I?
No,
I mean,
I believe that was the word. I might be mistaken, but I believe that was the word.
I don't know if it was Pacific or not, but yeah, it was,
Specific, specific?
yeah, no.
I believe it was
Do you-
the reserve account specific to.
Was it? Okay.
Specific, right? Okay, it was specific.
MMA wrote the
With an S,
article.
With an S.
MMA wrote the article, they're the ones who write
But he
these
wanted a
articles.
definition for that word that's in that sentence.
I think what he wants is a word, whether or not, an opinion, whether or not that word is to be used in that
Right.
situation. That's what I
Well,
got.
that's what
I
it-
might be wrong, but.
I think
believe
that's
so.
kind of making sure it's being used the right way.
well,
So,
like Ed said, they wrote the article. What would you like me to do with his question? I told him I'd bring it before you guys.
can we ask MMA? I don't have a problem with it.
Personally, I'd leave it alone.
You what,
He wants
I'd
to
leave it alone personally.
David?
I think it's fine.
I mean, if it was somebody else that wrote the article, I might have a question, but they're the ones who wrote the article.
Right, you can see the thread, they completely rewrote the treasurer.
Right.
Yeah,
Yep.
All right, so I'm gonna let Mr. Gore know that you decided not to revisit that
Yep.
article. Okay, that's all I have for tonight. That's what my notes have anyways, I don't know if I missed anything.
Before we go to F, do we want to do comments or anything? Do you,
Sure.
anybody have any public comments? Because it looks like we're going into an executive session, so if you have any public comments now, you could speak. All right. I can go down through, do you want me to go down through these announcements too?
Sure.
So on 4/1, we've got the planning board meeting and the Iron Tales conditional use,
It's still on.
which is still on, at 6 o'clock tomorrow night. On April 4th, we've got the marijuana committee at 6.
6.
And we've got April 7th, we've got the Board of Selectmen again. April 8th, we've got the liquor license for Iron Tales, and that's at 6:30. On the 12th, we've got a public hearing for the 427 elections at 5 PM. ZBA on the 13th at
No, the public hearing's at 6.
6, all right, and then the ZBA is at 5.
That's here in the building.
All right. And then on the 14th, we've got the Capital Improvement Committee at 4:30. Board of Selectmen again on the 14th. 15th, we've got the Planning Board meeting and the proposed zoning ordinance at 6. Rec Committee on the 16th at 5:30. 19th, Warrant and Finance at 5:30. 6 o'clock. We got 6 o'clock. Okay. Thank you. And then, it's all right. 4:21 and 4:28, Board of Selectmen at 6. And that is that.
I make a motion, we go into executive session, MRSA 4056A-1.
I'll second that.
Okay, moved and seconded, all in favor?
I can't quite see what time it is, it's 6 something or other.
6:27.
6:27 PM. Okay?
All right.
Make a motion, we come out of exec.
Oh, hold on a second. I think she's-
Yeah, I just looked up to see. The brakes on that in a hurry. Make a motion, we come out of executive session from MRSA 4056A-1 at 6:48 PM.
I'll second that.
It's been moved and seconded, all in favor? All opposed? All right. How do we say this? Well, I guess,
I'll make a motion.
okay, thank you.
Okay, we just simply discussed the rate of pay for the temporary CEO. And where there's no benefits or anything like that involved, we're gonna do a rate of pay of $35 an hour when he's working for the town of Acton. That suitable? Suitable. So that's a motion?
I'll second it.
Moved and seconded, all in favor? All right,
That's it.
all right, so I guess I just need a motion so we can,
Make a motion, we adjourn?
Seconded.
moved and seconded, all in favor? Thank you, everybody, have a good evening.